Hello and welcome to the Open News. In today's episode we're going to be covering everything from Valve's commitment to Linux to Firefox Reality being announced. All that and more right now on Linux Lounge. Well, first up we have this. Valve says it's committed to making Linux and SteamOS a great place for gaming. Well, it would seem the Steam machines may be on their way out. Yeah, those Linux-powered console-like PCs really just didn't take off. Recently, Valve have removed the Steam Machine section from Steam. Now, with that said, it is still possible to buy these things, but it does show that Valve aren't quite promoting them as heavily anymore. Now, for the important bit, many people may think that Valve are slowing their support for Linux, but apparently they are still committed to SteamOS and Linux, so it should continue to, update the Linux software, stuff like that, which is great since Linux support in the gaming world is most definitely on the rise, and I think a large sort of part of that is because of Valve. I just hope to see, sort of continued support for them in the future, and quite frankly, I'm honestly disappointed that these Steam machines didn't take off, because it would have been a great way to get Linux into people's homes through a sort of console. Well, next up we have this. iOS 11.3 enables playing YouTube videos in background when locked on iPhone. Now, some people may not know this, but one of Google's many completely absurd and unnecessary restrictions over YouTube is that you are not allowed to run YouTube in the background in any form or fashion. It's against their terms of service for whatever reason, which is why it comes as a surprise that iOS 11.3 allows you to play YouTube videos in the background or while your phone's locked. I'll be honest, it's great to see any company stick it to Google and their many stupid restrictions, whether intentional or not. Frankly, with Apple, I'm sure it's an intentional lack of thought that this could possibly be used with YouTube. Though, honestly, I expect Google will do something to patch this feature at some point. Well, next up we have this. Firefox Reality, bringing the immersive web to mixed reality headsets. Indeed, Mozilla are developing a sort of VR browser. Now this browser is called Firefox Reality, and apparently it's built from the ground up using sort of Firefox technology, enhanced with an experimental web engine called Servo. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not sure how useful a VR browser is going to be, but honestly I'd certainly love to see where this goes. If you own a VR headset, you can actually give this a go now by building it yourself or grabbing a developer build. However, this browser is far from full featured, so there's quite a significant amount of things missing here. But all in all, like I say, it's an interesting idea, and I'd love to see where this goes. And finally, we have this. Linux 4.16 arrives, bringing more Spectre and Meltdown fixes. Indeed, the Linux 4.16 update arrived perfectly on time with patches for Meltdown and Spectre for various different processor types. Now, I won't go too in depth here. If you want to know more about the new features, just check my previous Open News episode. The link will be in the description. But in summary, this update adds in updated drivers and security patches for Meltdown and Spectre, among other things. Like I said, though, the most important thing here is this update came on time, unlike the previous update, which was unfortunately a disaster. This update should be rolled out to all the various different distributions for you to download and try out at some point. Well, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please consider clicking that little bell icon to get notified of future Open News episodes. And with that said, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.